In Indian politics, you've got leaders known for sticking to one ideology no matter what. And then you've got others known for being, well, a bit more flexible. And then you've got Nitish Kumar. He's a politician who's practically made a career out of reinventing himself. So today, we're going to deconstruct the journey of Bihar's longest-serving chief minister to try and understand the man behind all those political flips.
I mean, just look at this timeline from the last few years alone. It tells you pretty much everything. In 2017, he leaves the Grand Alliance and joins up with the BJP. Then, in 2022, he leaves the BJP and goes right back to the Grand Alliance. And then, in 2024, he flips again and rejoins the BJP. This isn't some random glitch in the system. This is a pattern. It's his signature move. And to really get how this became his trademark, we have to rewind all the way back to the beginning.
And this one line from our source material pretty much sums it all up. It really gets to the heart of the whole puzzle, right? A journey of constantly shifting alliances and, well, what seems like very fluid principles. It's a story we're going to unpack, piece by fascinating piece.
All right, so to really understand the politician he is today, our story has to start way back in the turbulent 1970s. Because it was here, in the middle of this massive student movement, that three future giants of Bihar politics, Nitish Kumar, Lalu Prasad Yadav, and Vilas Paswan, all got their start on the very same stage.
The JP movement was, and I'm not exaggerating here, a political earthquake. This huge anti-Congress wave called for a total revolution. And it didn't just shake the government. It became the training ground for an entire generation of brand new leaders, including, of course, a young and very ambitious Nitish Kumar.
But here's something you might not know, a really fascinating detail. His political career almost ended before it even really started. He lost 2 elections in a row, and he was done. He was actually thinking about quitting politics to become a contractor, but then in 1985, he decided to give it one last shot, and he won. So in a way, his very first successful flip wasn't political at all. It was him deciding to flip back into politics just as he was about to walk away for good.
So coming out of that whole movement, Nitish was for a while basically inseparable from his comrade Lalu Prasad Yadav. He was known as Lalu's right-hand man, his political brother. But as you can probably guess, that brotherhood, well, it wasn't built to last.
In this slide, it just lays out the whole breakdown perfectly. Before 1990, they were comrades in the trenches together. After 1990, they were bitter rivals. So what happened? What was the breaking point? It all came down to a fight over who should get the credit for arresting BJP leader L.K. Advani during his Rath Yatra. This wasn't just a simple disagreement. It was the crack that completely shattered their alliance. And this letter he wrote to Lalu, man, it tells you everything you need to know. It's this raw, unfiltered mix of feeling betrayed, of professional jealousy, and just pure ambition. That feeling of being sidelined, of not getting his due, that's what fueled the split and sent Bihar's politics down a totally new path. Okay, so after breaking up with his political brother, Nitish's next big move was an alliance with the BJP, and this partnership would kick off one of the most complicated, contradictory relationships in all of modern Indian politics, his long, very complicated dance with Narendra Modi. It's a simple question, right? But the answer is so complicated. And it really depends on one thing. Was he speaking in public, with all the cameras rolling, or was he speaking in private, behind closed door?
So get this. This is what he was saying privately back in 2004, just a couple of years after the Gujarat riots. Our source material shows that not only did he praise Modi, he actually accused the BJP's own upper caste lobby of trying to use the riots to bring Modi down. Pretty incredible.
But publicly? Oh, that was a whole different ballgame. He was trying to build this very careful secular image, and to do that, he actively tried to avoid being seen with Modi. The most famous example was at a rally in 2009 where it completely backfired. Modi grabbed his hand and held it up for all the cameras to see, an image that would follow Nitish for years. And the whole thing just exploded in 2010. When Nitish saw newspaper ads plastered with that exact photo, he was so furious that he canceled a dinner he was supposed to host for the BJP's top leaders. This wasn't just politics anymore. This had become deeply personal. So as Narendra Modi started rising on the national stage, Nitish Kumar entered what you could call his most defining era, a really dizzying decade of political acrobatics that would seal his reputation as the ultimate political survivor. It's tough to keep up, I know, but let's just try to walk through it. 2013, he leaves the NDA because of Modi.
2014, his party gets crushed in the election. So what does he do in 2015? He joins forces with his old arch-rival Lalu and wins. But by 2017, he breaks that alliance, saying his conscience told him to, and goes right back to the NDA. Then, in 2022, he leaves them again, only to return, you guessed it, in 2024. It's a masterclass in political maneuvering, you have to say.
And if you're wondering why he keeps making these moves, this slide is the key. The numbers tell the whole story. Look at 2015. His party and Lalu's party together are a winning formula. Now jump to 2020. His party's seats drop from 71 all the way down to 43, while his partner, the BJP, surges and becomes the bigger player in the alliance. His own political power was shrinking, and that changing math, well, that's everything you need to know to understand the constant search for a new way to win.
After that 2022 flip, the BJP's chief strategist, Amit Shah, came out and made this absolutely definitive statement. The doors for Nitish Kumar were closed, locked, forever.
Well, it turns out that in politics, forever can be a very, very short amount of time, because less than a year later, those permanently closed doors, they just swung right back open.
So this all brings us to the big question, right? After all these moves, all the alliances made and then broken, what is the legacy that Nitish Kumar is actually building for himself?
You know, when you zoom out and look at his whole career, a pretty clear pattern starts to emerge. A history of sidelining the very people, the mentors and allies who helped him get to the top. People like George Fernandez, a socialist icon who helped start his party, was later denied a ticket by him. Or Sharad Yadav, a co-founder of the JDU, who was kicked out of the party for disagreeing with the return to the NDA.
And this letter from his one-time mentor, George Fernandez, wow, it really hits hard. It captures this recurring theme in his career, this idea that loyalty seems to last only as long as you're useful.
9. Just let that number sink in. In 19 years, he has taken the oath of office as chief minister 9 different times. That number, it shows an absolutely unmatched instinct for political survival, but it also makes you ask some big questions about stability and consistency, doesn't it?
Which brings us right back to where we started. From that fiery young idealist in the JP movement to the master political strategist he is today. After all the jumps between ideologies, between friends and enemies, what, if anything, is left of the principles he started out with?
You know, maybe the best way to end this isn't with a political answer, but with these lines of poetry that are cited in the source material. They seem to ask the very question that's on everyone's mind. It's a powerful way to reflect on a career that's been defined not by any one ideology, but by constant calculated change.